The Glencore share price trading just a fraction higher today, but the rest of the commodities sector under pressure. So maybe we see that slight move higher in Glencore as an outperformance versus the sector, something positive then in the numbers.
Yes, they're very strong numbers as commodity prices rise. It's what we've seen throughout the natural resources industry this quarter. There are two specific things I'd say about Glencore. One, that they differ from the other big mining companies in the fact that they have a big trading operation, and that performed very strongly. It's on course to make a record $3.3 billion this year. But on the slightly more negative side, their earnings aren't quite as spectacular as companies like Rio and Anglo because they don't have an iron ore business. But all in all, very strong, and they're repeating the pattern of giving more money back to shareholders.
Yeah, so that's the big theme, isn't it, within the sector, returning cash to shareholders. And in this case, in the case of Glencore, there's a conversation about whether it's dividends, whether it's buybacks, and they say they're just reflecting investor preference here.
Yeah, the buyback was a little bit of a surprise. They'd previously guided that they would focus returns on dividends, but in a call with the press, the new CEO, Gary Nagle, said that had some feedback from investors that they wanted buybacks, so they decided to balance between the two, which is why we got this slightly surprising buyback. But overall, it means more than $1 billion of money going back to investors.
And what's the story behind this provision they've taken then, Will? Taking a provision related to the investigation by the US Department of Justice. The company not saying all that much about that this morning?
No, I mean, this is the other big sort of cloud on the horizon for Glencore investors, which is, apart from the lack of iron ore, is perhaps the other reason that the share price hasn't kept pace with the rest of the industry. They are being investigated by the DOJ and the SFO in London and the Swiss authorities, and some people expect that the upshot of that will be a big settlement, which will cost the company quite a lot of money. They set aside more than $200 million towards their legal costs, but they were very unclear about exactly what that money would do, which investigation it was provisioned against, what the money was actually for. So, yeah, it's something where I think investors would like a bit more clarity, but clearly the costs are mounting.